But we begin in Pennsylvania, where Joe Biden, your president, he spent the day on the campaign trail talking to voters in a critical, crucial battleground state. We are just 202 days away until an inflection point for this country. Probably the most pivotal election in our lifetime. Every campaign stop is crucial. Donald Trump was not able to campaign today at all. Why? He was stuck in a dreary New York City courtroom and will be stuck in that very same courtroom almost every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for the foreseeable future.
My friends, J.R. Dukes with you. Appreciate you joining me today. We have to talk about this trial of former President Donald Trump. What an outrage, an absolute outrage. But it's important that we talk about this because you need to be aware of what's going on. And what's going on is nothing short of election interference by courtesy of the woke Democratic Party. It's really just that simple, folks. You have a collaboration of the federal, state, and local individuals all getting together, conspiring to take out Donald Trump. And folks, this is more important than, say, Donald Trump. It is the ability of you and me to be able to choose the person we want as the next president of the United States. And this whole thing should outrage you. I'm sure I know the reason why this particular judge is taken off on Wednesday. I'm sure he's not in too big a hurry to let Donald Trump go free and campaign like President Biden has the ability to campaign. I'm assuming he's probably taken off every Wednesday because he's probably taken a class on ethics. I'm sure he wants to study up on freedom and exactly what our founding fathers intended for individuals that choose to run for the highest office in the land, but I could be wrong.
Likely well over a month. Donald Trump was told that he will go straight to jail and not collect $200 if he's not in court every single day. And Joe Biden has the swing state playing field all to himself with only 202 days until Election Day. And the media mob, they are literally, well, elated. One fake news CNN host celebrating with a banner that read, quote, Biden hits the trail while Trump sits in court.
The media is treating Donald Trump's legal sagas like their daily dose of reality television. And folks, let's admit it. Watching Joe Biden day after day is like our daily watching of a comedy show. Every time Joe Biden does something in public, it's always humorous. It's always a show because, let's face it, Joe does not know what he is doing at any particular moment, especially if they fail to choreograph it and make sure he's up on his meds.
No wonder so few people watch fake news CNN. And there at the Conspiracy Theory channel, MSDNC, they are working extra hard this week. Their fairy tales, of course, about Russia never came true, but they will never miss an opportunity every second, minute, hour, every day, every week, every month, every year to bash Donald Trump. And they are not alone. Take a look.
Donald Trump is in the courthouse right now. I mean, history has begun.
And the Biden campaign says that while Trump is in court, Biden is, quote, running the country.
The judge is in a tough spot here. No judge wants to be that, person that is the one to throw former President Trump in jail for.
Folks, the liberal media's obsession with these Trump trials is kind of like they're involved in their own reality TV show. And that reality TV show would be called something like The Trump Trials, How Reality TV Destroyed America. And of course, as for the judge, he's got his own reality show. And the name of that show is The Crooked Judge, who had a Democratic operative as a daughter. Think of that.
Or criminal contempt.
What do Democrats do? How do his opponents try to utilize this time?
Well, Joe, the split screen will be Donald Trump in a courtroom, Joe Biden on a campaign trail. So I think that's a very important juxtaposition.
Why is it that it's only coming to trial now? It turns out that is kind of a funny story. Funny in a bad way.
Oh, this is a legal nerd's Super Bowl, right? Like, I'm kind of excited about this.
That's the part I need to do.
But that's exciting to someone like me.
And then, of course, there's The View. These ladies are always pro-Trump, right? I don't think so. They are kind of like a never-ending watch party for the sequel of a movie. But the problem is the movie is a movie that never ends. You just have a show that's full of all these sighs, like, and all this drama. of course, from liberal woke perspective, of course.
They're downright giddy. Make no mistake. This is no ordinary trial. This is a taxpayer-funded, media-promoted political smear campaign against Donald Trump, and miraculously and perfectly timed just for the presidential election. Now, the prosecutor, Alvin Bragg, he hates Donald Trump. He ran on a hate Trump campaign. He hates him for political reasons. The judge, Juan Mershon is his name. He's a Democrat. Guess who he donated to in 2020?
I can tell you who he donated to in 2020. He donated to the Biden campaign. And remember, this is the same nutty judge. This guy's crooked. Let's just be straight up and honest about it, folks. There's no reason to mix our words in this particular situation because this judge refuses to take himself off this case, even though he is closely related and is always with his daughter, who is not just a Democrat. She's a Democratic operative. She has made like $93 million for the Democrats, and on her website, she has admitted that the individuals that she does work for are no less than President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and of course, our favorite Adam Schiff, and we know what President Donald Trump calls him, of New York fame. Absolutely enraging that this sham trial is continuing.
Joe Biden, and the jury pool is comprised of Americans living in deep blue New York City. Only 12% of the electorate there voted for Trump. The alleged crime, it's hard to describe. They haven't really told us yet.
Folks, they haven't told us the alleged crime because they don't have a theory for the crime. They basically, what they did is they took a misdemeanor. Remember, this is a private company, President Trump's company, and they essentially took what is normally a misdemeanor and weaved it into basically election laws, which are, of course, federal, and tried to extend the statute of limitations and then make this 33, 34 felonies because allegedly he wrote a check and then miscategorized it as personal expense instead of campaign expenses. And the irony here, folks, President Trump would have been indicted either way. If he would have wrote it as campaign expense, they would have charged him for using campaign money illegally. Since he wrote it personally, they have to basically weave this novel theory the way they're doing it now. What an outrage!
It is a misdemeanor document label allegation that dates back 8 years. By the way, just for the record, well past the statute of limitations that Alvin Bragg mysteriously brought back to life by turning it into a felony on federal election law. But none of that really matters, does it? This is not about justice. It's not about keeping Americans safe. Do you really think this is a threat to any American? In New York City, let's see, you have violent criminals, you have gang members, you have drug dealers, you have sex offenders, you have cops being beaten up by the criminals, and little old ladies going to church getting the crap beat out of them, and they escape Alvin Bragg's very lax prosecution every single day.
Isn't that absolutely outrageous? This Alvin Bragg is the same DA that you see letting the Venezuelan criminals go, the ones that are attacking the police. He lets them go, and of course they flee the city. As Sean Hannity just pointed out, Alvin Bragg is the same guy that doesn't want to put anybody in jail for violent crimes. He simply has them come in and he sends them right out if he has them arrested at all. And that is something we should all be worried about.
But with Donald Trump, well, Bragg, who reduced 60% of all felonies to misdemeanors, well, he twisted the law into a pretzel, bending over backwards, spending millions of your dollars to bring a case that, frankly, never should have been brought. For Democrats, the mob and the media, it is worth every penny, even sacrificing the rule of law and our great constitutional republic. It removes Donald Trump from the campaign trail at the height of an election. The trial also gives the left yet another opportunity to trash Donald Trump in public.
That's exactly right. Folks, you have to remember this trial going on in New York City right now has nothing to do with justice. It has nothing to do with prosecution. This is prima facie persecution, and the real label for this is election interference. And it is not really about Donald Trump. It's about your vote and my vote and our right to vote for who we want as president of the United States. The Democrats, they cannot get away with this. They simply cannot. And we all have to be smarter than they give us credit for. And I think if we all continue to talk about these facts and we shed light on this and we don't fall for this indoctrination, we're going to be okay. But folks, each and every one of us have to do our part. You have to share this video with individuals that you know that are woke or that are confused or simply don't understand the reality of the world we're living in today. We have to stop this. We will not allow the Democrats to get away with this, because our freedoms are absolutely paramount to each and every one of us. Folks, appreciate you joining me today. If you are still with me, you might as well go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. I always say, my friends, keep that mind free, never give up. And until next time, I am J.R. Dukes.